you. Good morning, everybody. It's great to be here, and thanks for coming to my 10 a.m. speech on the third day. Okay, so my subject is mass personalization and mass customization. This is a subject that's very dear to my heart, and I think you'll find very interesting. So, before the world we live in today, which is a mass-manufactured world, we lived in a pre-industrial world where things were made by craftspeople. My great-grandfather was, in fact, one of these craftspeople. He lived in a small village in England. He was the only craftsperson in this small village. And what would happen is that people in the village would come to him and say, you know, we're having a new baby, we'd like a new cot made, and he'd make that cot. And as the family grew, they needed a larger table or some bedding or some shelves. He would make all of the furniture in their homes. And then, interestingly enough, these carpenters in these small villages in England often had a dual role. Not only did he make the furniture for these homes, but he also made the coffins. So he experienced these families from the beginning of their lives to the end of their lives. And he ran, as a carpenter, he also ran, when he made the coffins, he also ran a funeral service. So it was very common back in the pre-industrial age that carpenters in England were both carpenters and funeral leaders. Anyway, so that was then. And then, you know, what was so good about this era is that things that were made in this place were always unique to that area. So you had traditions and craftsmanship that were local to that place. So like a chair on the far left in England, or this chair made in China, or the French chair, or a Japanese chair, really reflected the local culture and the local history and traditions of those craftspeople. And that all changed with automation, manufacturing, and mass manufacturing. Suddenly we went from, you know, individual things made one by one for customers to being made in the millions. And I'm just curious, this is a chair made by IKEA. I'm just curious if you could put your hands up if you either recognize this chair, sat in this chair, somebody knew this chair. Oh my goodness me. That is practically everybody. So, this is a good argument to my point, is that we now live in a world where we have a lot of similarities. So there are some pros and cons to mass production, and I'm going to delve into that now. So one of the great things about mass production is we have a lot more, and it's better, and it's cheaper. So when I mean more, we are living in an era of abundance. We can literally get whatever we want, whenever we want. And the products are actually better. A lot of people think when made by hand is going to be a better quality product. That's actually not true. A machine can produce something with incredible accuracy, and you can't do that by hand. And products are cheaper. When you make them in the millions, they ultimately end up being cheaper. So I'll give you a case in point. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Sonos. Anyone here? Do they know Sonos? Yeah, so a lot of people are familiar with Sonos. It's a wireless hi-fi company. This was my first client when I started Matter in 2013, and I've been working with them since then for about 3.5 years. Earlier this month in April, they launched the Playbase. This product I worked on, I kid you not, for 3 years. And there was an army of engineers working alongside me to make this product. I did a lot of research going into people's homes, discovering what their needs were. Essentially what this does is it goes under your television and becomes a home theater system that has a sound that is absolutely incredible. So here you can see it fitting under a television, and it gives you the 5.1 surround sound with a subwoofer in the bottom. So thousands of hours, literally tens of millions of dollars went into this design of this product, and it cost $6.99. It seems like a lot of money, but when you really understand how high quality, this product, the fit, the finish, the audio quality is incredible. You realize the value of mass manufacturing. So these are some of the products I've designed in my 30-year career as an industrial designer, an experienced designer. The way I see myself is I'm a bit like my great-grandfather. I see myself as a modern-day craftsperson. I do have the same sort of empathy that my great-grandfather had for his customers. I would, when I design a product, I usually interview the person who I'm designing it for. I get a better understanding of their home life, their environment, their needs. So this sort of deep empathy is a very important part of being a designer. But there are a lot of cons to mass manufacturing, especially in the early days. So this is Henry Ford's Model T, and I'm sure you're familiar with the adage that goes, you can have any color as long as it's black. So yeah, basically they all look the same, they all had the same body style, they all had the same color. But so this mass manufacturing sort of methodology or view of the world has applied to all aspects of modern day living. It's not just products such as furniture or clothing and cars, but it's also our entertainment, even our news, our food, and architecture. So every aspect of our modern life that we live in is a manufactured life, a manufactured world. And I think this is getting more concerning to me as a designer and as a citizen, that we're seeing globalization. So you go to Paris, famous for its fashion, but you have these global brands such as H&M. Or you go to Italy, famous for its food and its coffee culture, and we see McDonald's and Starbucks sprouting up everywhere. And, the Apple iPhone is in everybody's hands everywhere you go, all over the world. Now, another important thing about mass production is you need an audience, you need someone to sell to. It's critical, and a critical equation of mass production is advertising. And advertising is not just about telling the customer about the product. It's about shaping the market itself. And by shaping the market, they're more able to sell product to you. So they create aspirational archetypes of type of people that you feel that you need to be, and they create an unrealistic demand on people to live up to this expectation. So up until now, the relationship has been from the company to the customer. It's a one-way relationship. And I don't know about you, but I'm concerned about this. I see we're entering a global culture of mediocrity and conformity. And what I'd really like to do is celebrate people, their differences. People have different backgrounds, they have different traditions, they have different histories, they have different passions and hobbies. And not only are they different in terms of from an intellectual point of view, they're different in all of their shape, forms, and sizes, from your gender, from your age, from your proportions of your physical body. And it's important to recognize that we're all different, we're all individuals, we're not mass ourselves. There was a gentleman called Joseph Pine who wrote a book in 1992 called Mass Customization, The New Frontier in Business Competition. He recognized that these big global companies really needed to start to think about their customers on an individual level. And the companies that would do that would be successful, and the companies that didn't do that would be not successful. Up until recently, this has mostly been a sort of academic subject, and it's been talked about in business schools, but not really applied so much in the real world. But this is changing. We're entering what I like to call, and has been actually termed, the customer revolution. And this is about a shift in power from the global corporation to the individual. And the corporations know that they have to listen to the individual needs of people and not treat them on a mass scale. So how did this all happen, and how is it being enabled? So computerization, networks, the internet, and new forms of manufacturing is altering their dynamic and creating a two-way relationship between the company and the customer. So I'm going to go and talk about a few examples that I've noticed in my career. So we have customized style, customized function, personalized experiences, personalized service, personalized products, and personalized fit. And I'm going to go show some examples of these. So one of the very first companies that really started to understand customization was the Mini Cooper. And they created an online tool that you could customize your car. You can choose the paint color, you could choose the decals that went on the outside, you could choose the types of wheels that you wanted, the interior trim. So this level of customization created a brand loyalty from the customer towards the brand. And you got a car that was personal to you. And other companies are now doing it, such as watch companies and eyewear companies. So everyone is kind of following the lead that Mini took. Now I talk about personalized function. This is a watch I designed for Samsung. It only remained as a concept, but I think is indicative of where things are going to go. So the idea with this watch is that you can update or change the function of the watch. So you can add a camera, or you can add GPS, or you can add an extended battery life, and you simply change out these little tech modules to modify and update the function of your watch. And what I really liked about this idea as well is that products in the tech sector tend to date very quickly, and every couple of years you have to buy a new product. With this idea is that instead of buying a new product, you just update the technology within the product. This is an image of a model of the product. Another company, actually this is a Google product, they commissioned a design agency in San Francisco called New Deal Design to look at a similar modular approach to phones. This is called Project Aria. And the idea is that these squares in here are different functions. So it's a camera, it's memory, it's your hard drive, it's a RAM. All of these things can be replaced and swapped out as you need. Even the screen can be changed. And so here are all the kit of all the parts right here that can be updated. And again, it remains a concept, but I think this is very indicative of where things will be going soon. So now I want to talk a bit about personalized experiences. In 2004, I joined Nike as a creative director, and I was involved in Nike Plus, which is a new service for runners. And what was interesting about this is up until this product that was offered, the Nike Plus product, Nike had the traditional model: make products, advertise it, sell it to the customer. Make more products, advertise it, sell it to the customer. It was a one-way relationship. With Nike Plus, it was about creating a two-way relationship. We created an online service where customers would sign up and they could join a community. They could compete against people anywhere in the world virtually. They could do real races like the Nike Women's Marathon, so it's physical as well as virtual. And then you could keep track of your statistics, like how far you ran, your pace, and things like that. So I was responsible for the physical hardware design of the Nike Plus system. And I think it's a very good example of one of the first sort of services where it was a personalized service from the company. And now we've seen it, obviously, a lot more. You know, I think Uber and Lyft and the other companies like this have completely radicalized the taxi industry. And what I like this is that it used to be a dumb system where taxis drove around wasting gas and being completely inefficient while, you know, riders were looking for a cab, using technology, using the cloud, you could make those meaningful connection and get a personalized service. And also the efficiency gain of sharing that car with another rider. So it's a really good system. So one interesting statistic is that currently, if you own a car, you're only using it 5% of the time. 95% of the time, it's being stored in a parking lot somewhere. This is completely wasteful. And what I'm anticipating is with the autonomous vehicle, this will go away. Basically, you will, let's say in the morning you need a small car to go and pick up some groceries. A small car will come to you. You'll go do your grocery shopping. In the afternoon, you want to take your family for a picnic with the dogs. A minivan comes to you. You take your family for a picnic. So we're going to see a shift from private ownership of vehicles to fleets of vehicles that will deliver a much more personalized service. And you could also have it so that when you get in the vehicle, the temperatures are at the setting you like, the music is already playing with the music that you enjoy, the seats are set to the right position for you. So even Hilton, we're staying in a Hilton, which is interesting. I travel a lot for business, and every time I stay in a Hilton, it looks like the same Hilton that I was just in. Airbnb is great because you really get a sense of the culture and the people when you go and stay in an Airbnb. And you probably remember this, so all of a bookshelf with records and CDs and albums that took up a lot of space. This has been replaced by things like Spotify and Audible. I love Spotify, the Discover Weekly, where every week they offer up a personalized recommendation of music to listen to, and it's updated every week, and it's a mixture of things you know plus some new things. And I think it's a fantastic example of a personalized experience. And again, Nike was leading the forefront of personalization with Nike ID. So you can go online and design a shoe to your preferences. But what a lot of people don't realize, a lot of people have thought, well, that's just sort of a sideshow. It's not really that meaningful in a business context, and that's absolutely not true. Because what happens is the customer goes online, they're now ordering their shoe online and buying it online. The shoe is not being sold through brick and mortar, so that means Nike gets to keep the entire profit from that shoe, which is about an extra 50%. So in 2015, Nike ID made $100 million in business, so it is a very significant business for them. Another area that I'm very interested in is personalized fit. This is a company called Left Foot in Sweden. They have this machine that's a 3D scanner that will scan your foot and create an accurate last. And a last is like, this is a digital version of your foot, because everybody's feet are different. And then they will make shoes that fit you perfectly. So you'll keep this data online, and if you're ordering a hiking boot from them or a dress shoe, it'll always fit you perfectly every single time. And then this is beginning to happen in the clothing industry as well. This is a company called Alton Lane. So you will go into the building and get a scan of your body. They'll customize a suit perfectly for you. It'll fit just as it should. So you're getting a Savile Row bespoke suit-making quality product at a price of off the rack. So I anticipate what I'm calling the Uberization of product, where no longer will you need to go downtown, sift through small, medium, large for a T-shirt, looking for the type of fabric, the pattern, and the color. What you'll have is a scan of your body. You'll just basically say, I want that T-shirt, and it'll be delivered to your house. And it's interesting to note, Amazon this week have just filed a patent to do customized clothing. So I anticipate they're going to try and own the entire vertical stack from making the product to selling it to your door. So I'm going to talk about another area. There's a lot of, in the mass market, there's a lot of waiting because there's a lot of people. So one of these areas was the Disney park. So when I joined Frog in 2009, I worked on a project for about 4 years with the Disney park. And what they had a big problem. You go for a week to Disney park, Disney World, and literally 30% of your time is waiting. You're waiting in line to get from the bus at the airport to your resort. You're waiting in line to get to the check-in at your hotel. You're waiting in line to get into the park. You're waiting in line to get onto an attraction. You're waiting in line to get food. So 30% of your time is wasted. So the idea is that could we create a system that would optimize the park so you could have 100% fun, 100% utilization? So the answer to this was designing something called the Magic Band. This is designed while I was at Frog in about 2010. So this has technology in it that basically it's your ticket into the park, it's cashless payment, so you don't have to use a wallet, it's a room key, it's your fast pass attraction ticket, so get on an attraction, you can order food with it, and most importantly of all, you get personalized experiences, which I'll share in a minute. This is what's called a DAP, a digital access portal, and this is where you tap into. So when you come into the park, all you need to do is tap, and you walk right in. So no need to show any ID or show any money or anything like that. And then because the characters here know that this child here has this band and it knows that it's its birthday and his name, they can say, "Happy birthday, John. I hope you have a great day." So you get these little personalized interactions. But not only did we design the park to be more personal, but we designed the band itself. So before you go on your trip, you can design the band the way you want it. Or if while you're in the park, you can actually design another band and get a unique band. Also, like you go on an attraction here, and as you're going along the ride, there's a picture taken of you, and then when you've finished, you go through the gift shop and you get your personalized band for you. So when we designed this band, we thought about the different kinds of technology. We invented this new printing technology that would enable to do customized printing of your band in 60 seconds. And so this has finally been deployed, so this is an example of it in the park, where you can customize your band. So next thing I want to talk about is Carnival. So I started Matter in 2013. Along with Sonos, my other big client is Carnival Cruise Company. They own half the cruise ships in the world. They own P&O, Cunard, Holland America. Literally 52% of ships in the world are owned by Carnival. And they wanted to kind of do a similar thing to the Disney park, create a much more personalized experience for their customers. So we came up with this idea of what we called the medallion. This is the medallion here. It's a little thing about this big, kind of like a coin. I have a video that will explain it here.
So we want to get back to the purpose of why people take cruise experiences, which is really to connect with other people, other cultures, other destinations around the world. Because what we want to do is create a new level of service that is enabled by technology, but not technology-centric. Ultimate strategy is to make a cruise personalized, make it simple, and make it hassle-free.
You are going on a journey when you go on a cruise ship, but you're also going on a journey of experience and of adventure. And we wanted to create a product experience that it itself was like a journey. On the digital side, we have the compass, and on the physical side, we have the medallion. In a sense, it's like a modern-day currency. It's technically the most advanced currency you can imagine. It empowers you to get into places automatically. You can buy things with this, and it enables personalized experiences. Each medallion is personally assigned to each guest, so their profile is connected to the medallion. Just by walking up to your stateroom and opening the door and walking inside, you don't need to bring out your phone. You don't need to tap in a code.
When we started designing the compass, we wanted to make sure we designed it in a way that anyone could understand. And what everyone in the world understands is time. So the navigation on the compass is just simply left to right as it relates to a timeline. Being able to look forward and engage in experiences, it allows you to get excited. It allows you to maximize your experience because you know everything that's available for you. And then navigating up or down just allows you to navigate up into possibilities or down into detail. And it's that persistent connection that allows this personalization to the next level. And we think that's what's super special.
So this was announced at CES this year. I don't know if anyone saw it, but it's going to be launched in reality in November. What you see here is what was basically shown at CES. It's moved along since then quite a lot, but all of that is very confidential until the actual launch. We also designed many accessories to go with this medallion so you can wear it in many different ways and personalize it. But I'm just going to mention one of the cool experiences, personalized experiences. There's something called Here, Now, There, and Then. And what this means is that you can say, I'd love to have some champagne with my wife later tonight at 7 p.m. just before the show. So you go to the show, and presto, champagne arrives because the crew knows exactly where you are because of the medallion and can deliver you a personalized experience and greet you by your name. So those kind of personalized experiences are being enabled by this technology. So finally, or getting towards the end here, I think we're entering a new era of individual control and expression. We're moving beyond mass. And now the relationship is from the customer to the company, and all enabled by these new technologies such as computerization, the internet, and new forms of manufacturing. And what's exciting to me is, like I've just described a few of these big global companies that are doing personalization and customization because they know they need to compete. To compete in this very competitive market, they need to offer personalization. But what I'm very excited about now is that even now individuals, people like you in the audience and myself, can actually create product. And I think this is exciting because it brings us back to like the pre-industrial age, where we'll have this very close relationship between the maker and the buyer. So you're all familiar with these, and I'm just going to give some examples. Kickstarter is the crowdfunding company, so you can crowdfund your invention or idea and get it to market. Shapeways is another one I'll talk to you about in a minute. Actually, I shall go straight to Shapeways. I love this company. It's early days, but the idea is that you can go online, you can design your own piece of jewelry or a cup or other small accessory. You buy it, it gets shipped to your house, but it's also an online market. Other people can buy your design. So therefore, you are creating this a platform in which people can buy and sell unique product, and that is a new form of customer and creator that is being developed. And of course, Kickstarter. I'm going to show you an example. I've done a few Kickstarter campaigns myself. So today, it's really easy to create. The software is so much easier. When I started it as a designer in the early 90s, the software cost $25,000. The hardware to drive the software was $25,000, so $50,000 just to get started. And it took about a year to get competent to make anything that was of any level of complexity. But the software has come down. You can buy a piece of software for less than $1,000 and produce any very advanced product. And of course, with 3D printing, CNC, new forms of manufacturing, you can build it and you can sell it. And I think more importantly, express yourself in new and interesting ways. So what I see is a renaissance of individual expression that will surpass what the global mass commercialization is doing right now. These are a bunch of companies, or individuals, sorry, that I've helped come to market. They had far less than a Sonos, less than $100,000, and I've helped them go to market with all of these products, actually. Either they're in market or about to come to market. And a lot of them have used crowdfunding. And I'm going to pretty much end on one of the crowdfunding companies. I guess what I wanted to point out, like Shapeways and a lot of those companies are doing very sort of low technology stuff. And you're probably wondering, well, you'll never be able to do a Sonos speaker that way. What I'm beginning to see is that actually that's not true, that we can actually do pretty advanced products on a very small scale. So this is an example of one thing.
We're gamers, and our passion for games doesn't stop when the screen turns off. We carry it with us everywhere we go. Now you can too with GameBand, the first smartwatch for gamers. GameBand Atari Edition puts the action right on your wrist with watch-optimized versions of classic Atari games. But GameBand's hardware is far from retro.
Inside GameBand, we put an AMOLED display that's crystal clear. We put the Qualcomm Snapdragon 2100 processor, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth 4.2.
So that's pretty much it. But essentially, this product is equal if not better to an Apple Watch, and this product was designed and prototyped to a functional level for less than $100,000. So it is possible today with the current technologies, computerization, and crowdfunding to do advanced products like this. So I think we're ushering in a new era where it's kind of like it was in the pre-industrial era, where individuals are able to create very unique products and then really express themselves more and celebrate local culture. And I think it's a very exciting time to look forward to. That's pretty much it. So thank you so much.